All right, everyone. Huge movie fanatic Nate coming your way on this first show of 2022. Actually happens to just by chance fall on January 6th, which is the 1 year anniversary of the very first radio show, Huge Movie Fanatics Radio. Last week's show ended kind of abruptly, didn't feel very well. And I guess I kind of got sick. I mean, not at the time, but you know, the subsequent week was kind of rough. I'm not used to being sick. That's the first time I've been sick in like 2 years. So a little bit of a bummer, but what you got to do when you're sick is drink fluids, preferably water, orange juice, rest up, stay warm. That's pretty much what I do when I get sick. And that worked. So a week later, on the mend, back with the show, see if we get any participants for the amazing 1 year anniversary of the show. Kind of interesting. I listened to just a little bit of the show from January 6th, 2021, and it was just like a test, Obviously, you can hear it was just a test to see if anyone showed up, and someone showed up. It was pretty cool. And I think the week later, I did another one, but I did it, my time at night to test the two times, like early afternoon versus late night. And I deduced because of people in the Europe and stuff being able to participate in early afternoon shows my time, it made sense to me that to basically do the shows by the third show last year, I finalized on early afternoon shows, so those in Europe could participate if they want to. So what do I talk about until people show up? I guess the biggest things that came across my plate in the last several days were it'd be really nice to know about that, somehow have some kind of a feed where all of the Blu-ray news regarding, I don't know, just obscure movies and stuff would just filter my way. But I think in December, Vinegar Syndrome, I just learned that they put out Creature, the film from 1985, and the Dario Argento movie by the name of Trauma from 1993 on Blu-ray. And of course, they always do their limited slipcovers, which I think is kind of funny, but I'm not big on the limited slipcover thing, but it's just very cool to finally have Creature 1985 on a Blu-ray, which most likely is an amazing presentation of the movie. So I will be getting that at some point and reviewing it, of course. And same with the Trauma Blu-ray. I'm not big on buying stuff from Vinegar Syndrome direct. I don't think I ever have. Was it a year ago now when people were telling me about, I think because of the show, people were telling me about at the time, recent release of, I can never remember the title, the 3D movie from the East Coast, Silent Madness. And I debated buying it from Vinegar Syndrome, but I just decided to wait and see how much I could get it on the other website named after a river or jungle or whatever it is. So I got it off there. I'm hoping to just get, Creature and Trauma Blu-rays on that website named after the rainforest or the river or whatever it is. So because when you order from them, like if by chance something gets lost in the mail or something like that, you end up, they'll just replace it. And I don't know how that works with buying it from the distributor, the labels themselves. I don't really like ordering stuff in the mail. Then you got to worry if you're going to get it or not. But most of the time we get them, so it's okay. I don't think there's anything else amazing in the news. I'm sure everyone wants to know what the temperature is here. It's currently -4 degrees Fahrenheit in Minnesota, or at least where I am in Minnesota. We might get up to, what are they saying? It might get as warm as -1 degree Fahrenheit today. So that'll be fun if that happens. Hoping to do some Skype calls today. We shall see. I think I'm gonna just do the iPhone speaker today, and that way they'll hear me with the iPhone mic. God, I kind of did a freaking iPhone commercial, didn't I? Oh well, can't go undo it. I'm seeing a listener. Welcome if you're here. Thank you for showing up. If you don't know, this is like primarily a chat / Skype call driven show. So obviously it's a little bit before people show up. It's a little bit like blah, 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 blah. Not particularly interesting necessarily until people show up. That one week, was it a couple weeks ago? I think 3 weeks ago, I actually managed to blab for like 28 minutes, surprisingly. And I listened to that back later and I'm like, wow, I did a pretty good job at blabbing about nothing for 28 minutes. So as it's now 6.5 minutes into the show, just before the show started, I think yesterday they put up the first 10, it's actually 9 and 40 something minutes of Ghostbusters Afterlife on YouTube. And I watched, just before the show started, I watched the first 9 something minutes of Ghostbusters Afterlife. And when I saw some of them clips before the movie came out, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to think about the movie, but I think one thing for sure I'm going to think about it is I'm going to like, based on them clips that I saw before it even came out at all, I'm going to like how it's shot and cut. And seeing the first 9 something minutes of it, I do in fact like how it's shot and cut. And I'm interested. I'm just going to blind buy it. Obviously comes out, I think, February 1st on Blu-ray. I'm expected to, based on the first 9 minutes, I think I'm going to, it might be like a 2-star out of 4-star movie for me. I think I'm going to, based on what Will told us about the movie, was it last week? I think I'm going to probably like, most likely, the first half more than the second half, which sounds like it's like, I don't know, just Ghostbusters fan service or whatever and stuff like that. And obviously you can even see that in the first 9 minutes with the, arms coming out of there, the monsters coming out of the armchair and the stacked books and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I'm going to not hate it. That's my prediction for Ghostbusters Afterlife. Honestly, the little bit of humor that was in the first 9 or so minutes was actually kind of decent and stuff. And the kid can't even get a bar on his phone, and he's like, I hope I can, or there's no bar, and the mom's like, there better be a bar or something. That was kind of fun. So I don't think I'm going to hate the movie, as I'm trying to just blab and blab and blab until people shows up, if they are going to. Yeah, what else? Not a whole lot else. It's below 0 Fahrenheit where I am. I was kind of sickly for the last week. Oh, looks like we got Will Powell. Would you like to connect via Skype, Will? Since that shouldn't be very difficult this week, since I got your account in my phone now. No pressure if you don't want to, I understand, but first come, first Skype, I always say. Welcome, Will. Will showed up in the chat about 9.5 minutes in. Let me know, Will, if you'd like to do a Skype call. I can ring you this time since I got your thingy, if you'd like. While we're waiting for his... Okay. Will Powell says, sure, just give me a little while. Okay, you can Skype me. God, I almost didn't say that. And I kind of wished I wouldn't have, but here, I'll set mine up. You can, let's see here. Call when it's convenient for you. Mine should be set up. And in the meantime, yeah. Will Powell's in the pub at the moment. Figures it's probably 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. in the UK. For anyone listening, Will Powell is located in the lovely or not so lovely UK. Still drinking on the OJ. It's interesting when you're sick, how, or at least with me. Oh, okay. Will says it's 7:10 where he is p.m. in the UK. At least with me, when I get sick, my body, and obviously this is just a natural thing, my body craves like orange juice. I got in a car wreck when I was 19. Some woman crossed the center line and drove into me and head-on collision and nearly killed both of us. And after that, mending up or resting up after getting out of the hospital, and the subsequent weeks, like, all my body craved was pretty much orange juice. And it's interesting how it really, craves the stuff that it needs. So still, and it occurred to me when I got sick, it's like, it probably wouldn't hurt to just drink orange juice all winter in my climate. Will says it's dark and cold. He hates January. Yeah, I can understand that. Will says, sorry to hear about that crash. Yeah, so was I. Did actually probably at the end of the day do more good for my life than bad. Just making me see things differently and stuff like that. So it's interesting how some of the worst things that happen to you can be among, or can actually be, some of the best things at the same time. Not that I want bad stuff to continue to happen. Austin's here. He says, you sounded like you almost died at the end of the last stream. Yeah, it was like I was overcome with the bug or whatever I had. So kind of embarrassing, but we made it through. Welcome, Austin. Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. Ooh, Will says worst injury he's had, dislocated his kneecap 3 times. 3rd time's a charm, I guess. Ugh. Yeah, I don't want to have that happen to me. Oh, I guess I kind of have had something similar where as a kid, I think I tore one of them, ligaments in my knee. So I think I had something similar to that happen. That wasn't painful, but I never went to the doctor or anything after that. So in the years I probably ruined something. In the years following that, if I was running around or stepped on that one leg wrong, my knee, you could kind of feel it slide. Oh, fuck. That feeling was just nasty. Like, slide out of its positioning there in where the, knee connects. Ugh, I haven't had that happen in probably over 10 years, so maybe it kind of half-ass healed. That's the closest thing to a kneecap injury I've had, something similar, ACL or one of them things ripped to shit, I would imagine, as a 13-year-old and never told anyone about it. Uh, yeah, I come to think of it, that thing hasn't slid, my knee hasn't slid probably for come to think of it, maybe closer to 15 or more years. So I think it maybe I don't know if you could say it healed, but I mean it's never hasn't given me trouble since. So probably should have told someone, but I don't like hospitals and shit. So yeah, as we're waiting for Will to connect via Skype or Rooney, Austin says, I think it's healed. Yeah, I don't, it hasn't slid, done that for 15 years or more. So maybe miraculously it healed itself. Will says the last time he did his kneecap thing was in a swimming pool. He fell off an inflatable thing and slipped funny, and the lifeguard had to save me. My leg was twisted and locked, the most pain I've ever felt. Man, how the hell can you? Okay. Get injured in a swimming pool, but things happen, I guess. Oh, yeah, Austin chimes in. Hospitals are, I'll just say, not the best place to be right at the moment. I know I was halfway wondering, as I was approaching day 5 and 6 with the runs, if it was ever going to go away. And I was halfway wondering, God, maybe in another time I would have went to the doctor, but I'm not going to go to the doctor now. Oh man. So to my happiness, the runs basically stopped on the seventh day. So isn't that in the Bible? On the seventh day the run stopped. I think so. Will says, ha ha ha, hospitals are scary. Halloween 2 sealed that for him. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I spent more time than I think your average person as a kid in the hospitals just because of just conditions and stuff that I was born into, and it was a drag. So that's why, like, by the time I ripped my knee apart and at 13, like, I just never told anyone. It's like, I don't want to go to a hospital. I spent so much, maybe not that much, but it's time in and out of hospitals, like all the way up until 13, that it's just like, yeah, the knee will be fine. Oh, one thing I'm kind of pissed about Vinegar Syndrome is that they put on 4K. Well, it's a 4K release, but it also has a Blu-ray. A movie that I would be very interested in getting on Blu-ray only, which is Ticks, the movie from 94 or something like that about wood ticks. And I don't understand. It seems like they might be doing this with other titles as well, where they might be, doing just 4K only releases, but they come with the Blu-ray. I don't know if it's like their test to see if people will, just get it. Like I don't really want to pay $32 for the 4K to get just the standard Blu-ray of Ticks. I'd be definitely interested in a standard Blu-ray only of Ticks, but maybe a person could just get the Blu-ray disc on eBay. I just thought of that if someone was just selling it loose or something. But I'm very interested in just standard Blu-ray release of Ticks from Vinegar Syndrome. That one's got that hot mom. She was in a lot of movies in the early 90s. That woman who was like the hot mom in Children of the Corn 2 and Pinocchio's Revenge and Ticks. And it seems like she was in possibly other stuff as well. Austin says he hopes Blu-ray wins the test if they're in fact doing a test. Yeah, I don't understand why they just can't put out a standard Blu-ray of ticks alone. I guess they hope that people like me who don't have 4K are going to want it enough to get the 4K to use as a coaster and then you watch the Blu-ray. It's just kind of a bummer that a company as normally cool as Vinegar Syndrome has to do a move like that. It's like, yeah, perhaps maybe later on down the road they'll release a Blu-ray of ticks. Let me refresh the. Okay, still -4. See if I can do eBay while I'm doing the show. Ticks, Vin, Blu Ray. Oh, Gary's here. He says, "Hi, Nate. The Creature Blu-ray looks like a great release. It had a decent release here at the cinema. It was released by Miracle Films, owned by Michael Myers, the one who John Carpenter used." Huh, that sounds goofy. Future Boys here. He says, "Hello." Austin says, "Are 4K discs even selling well these days? A lot of studios gave up on 4K." Yeah, well, I really have no idea. I hope they're not, and I hope Blu-ray, continues on. Okay, so on eBay, I'm looking at Tix. Let's see here, Tix Blu-ray. Should I just say Blu-ray only? Let's see, Blu-ray. No, okay. I think there's an out of print one there. It costs more than the 4K. Yeah, it doesn't look like, from what I can see, if I do search to lowest first. Oh, you gotta wait a second. Oh, okay. Someone's selling it for $22. I shouldn't be doing this on the show because people listening will grab up what I want. Yeah, I think Austin said this last week. He said, or someone did. I think it must have been Austin. He says Matrix 4 is still flopping like a fish. I added like a fish bit. That's kind of interesting. Future Boy says collectors think the world revolved around them. In reality, DVD are outselling Blu-ray and for sure 4Ks by long margin. I know. I still, call me just whatever. What's that word? Just nostalgic. But I still love that idea that DVD is still going strong. I love that. For me, like DVD and Blu-ray for life. We don't need anything clearer than Blu-ray. Let's just have DVD and Blu-ray for life. Wow, I'm seeing 7 listeners as we're still kind of waiting for Will Powell to connect via Skype. Austin says you'll notice the newer Paramount Collector's editions like Breakdown are not 4K. That's good point. Even if like the upcoming Ordinary People Paramount Blu-ray is like a 4K remaster, but it's coming out on standard Blu-ray. Austin says, yep, collectors are a niche minority. That was a orange juice burp. I'm seeing 8 listeners. Welcome, everyone, as we're waiting for Will to connect via Skype if he wants to. The only thing about Skype that's a little bit of a bummer is it's kind of difficult to do a call and keep up on chat, but I do my best, and sometimes it's not good enough, but take a look-see at the battery on the phone. Have to plug it in at some point. Austin says collectors thought the world revolved around Laserdisc in the 90s, and we all know how that turned out. Yeah, that Laserdisc was kind of a bummer. I didn't really necessarily completely love it even before Blu-ray or DVD showed up. Future Boy says, do you guys know that the 4K format cannot do standard definition on, I think he means, he says SD on BD. So does that mean it can't do standard definition on Blu-ray? Will says totally with you, meaning me, on the DVD thing. Yeah, just DVDs and standard Blu-rays for life. That's fine. Don't need 4, 6, 8, 16K. Just don't need it. I'm seeing 9 listeners. If anyone wants to do a Skype call, let me know in chat. I'm kind of waiting for Will to do it if he wants to. Austin says DVDs are like CDs now. They're not going anywhere. Yeah, I'd like to believe that. I'd like to believe that. Austin says if they release an 8K format, I'm going to laugh. I know, me too. Don't some phones record in 8K now? It's just like, oh my God. Hey, look at this 1-minute video. It's like 200 gigabytes. Thank you, everyone. Welcome, everyone, for showing up. Thank you for doing so. I'm seeing 8 listeners at this moment. Austin says DVDs are cheaper too. That's why they sell more. Yeah, honestly, I don't. It would be interesting to know how 4K disc is doing. Future Boy says 4K cannot, or 4K can not do stand. I don't know what that means. 4K cannot do stand on Blu-ray. Disco Tech is a anime boutique label on one of their streams. Mentioned this for them. Standard definition on Blu-ray. It's a huge market. Oh, I think I understand what he's saying. So just like being able to maybe put more standard definition stuff on a Blu-ray disc. And I think for what he's saying that they can't put standard definition on a 4K disc, which doesn't make sense to me because a disc to me is just, a storage thing. So you should be able to put anything on anything. Austin says, and most people don't want to replace all of their movie collections again. Yeah. Future Boy, yeah. So SD, obviously, he's referring to standard definition. I think I understand what he means now. Yeah, I'm one of those right there. Start with VHS. You get, let's say I get the Friday 13th series on VHS, then I got it on Laserdisc, then I got it on DVD, then I got it on Blu-ray. I'm just like, I don't want to buy these franchises and these movies over and over and over again. And of course, they want us to. Granted, I mean, all that took place over what, a 30-year period or 25, but still, it's just like, ugh. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why 4K wouldn't be able to do standard definition, but whatever. All right, approaching the 30 minutes into the show already. Holy Hannah. See if we can get someone on a Skype call. If anyone in the chat wants to go on a Skype call, let me know. So far, I think the only ones that are, what's it called? I can't think of the word. Normal contributors to the show that are interested in that are Matthew Haggerty, Will Powell, and Summerhill Cinema 700 has shown interest in a Skype call, so that'll be fun if that happens one day. Austin says, is that why they never put standard definition features on the 4K disc and that only put them on the Blu-ray? Yeah, must be. Future Boy says, because in anime, there are only standard definition available. Sometimes series can go for 50 plus episodes, and Discotech is one of those labels champion as standard definition on Blu-ray. Okay. Yeah, to me that makes sense. Get more footage on a disc. You put standard definition on Blu-ray in theory, using space wisely. All right, everyone, just past the old 30-minute mark. I think I was blabbing to myself for I don't remember when Will showed up. It was 10 or 15 minutes into the show, but once again started the show blabbing to myself about nothing. Let's see here. Didn't Gary show up? Oh, okay. Yeah, Gary did show up. Austin says standard definition looks pretty okay on Blu-ray, upscales it a little bit. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of experience with that, but that's okay. Let's do a weather report. Still -4 Fahrenheit. Yeah. So this is promising. This Tix 4K on eBay, $22, 2 days and 6 hours left. Be interesting to see what that goes for. Then someone's doing an auction on the 2013 20th anniversary edition out of print. I think that's the Olive Films Blu-ray release of Tix, currently at $25, $3.19 shipping, might be tax. What's the 100% feedback on the old 4K for $22, $2.50 shipping. Yeah, at this point, this might be one of the best ways to get it. Be interesting to see what this listing ends up going for with 2 days left. Probably close to. The irony is, it'll probably end up going close to what you can get it for new. Future Boy says Blu-ray has two major benefactor over DVD, high bit rate and durability. Yeah, that scratch resistant thing was really cool. Makes you wonder why they couldn't have come up with that sooner with discs, but if we treat our CDs and DVDs correctly, it's not a problem. I still don't get it, like when I buy a used CD or DVD or something, why there's fingerprints on it, scratches. It's so difficult to just take it out of the case, hold it correctly, and put it in the player, and vice versa when you're done with it. Just like these people that have to manhandle their discs. And I said DISKS for the record. It's just like, give me a break. A buddy of mine used to just have his CDs in a pile on a dresser on top of a dresser, and then he'd complain when it skipped. It's like, okay, well, oh my god, to each your own. Weather report still -4 Fahrenheit. Gary says, was Laserdisc the same definition as DVD? I know DVD had better sound. Actually, I think technically Laserdisc had better sound. I think Laserdisc was uncompressed. So if you had like Dolby Digital or DTS or, the multi or the discrete multi-channel surround on Laserdisc, I think that was technically better than DVD sound, but I like the image on, I think we talked about this last week. I like the image on DVD more. I think technically the image on Laserdisc, from what I can see in my Laserdisc days, was like an analog video image. And Laserdisc did start out like in the late 70s, early 80s with analog image and analog sound, but then they ended up having the digital sound. And then sometime like in the early into mid 90s, they started doing actual, discrete digital surround, what they called AC3 or Dolby Digital at the time, and then you'd be able to get DTS laser discs. But to play those, you'd need a player that was capable of Dolby Digital and or DTS decoding. Plus, you'd need wasn't necessarily decoding because that's what the receiver did. Then you need a receiver that was capable of that as well. I think a lot of Laserdisc people already had their players by the time that started. So it's like I wouldn't imagine there's very many of them Laserdisc players that can send out the Dolby Digital or DTS signals that's needed to actually listen to those titles in their digital discrete surround sound. I didn't start doing the Dolby Digital or DTS until DVD, so I never did any of that discrete digital sound on Laserdisc. I wanted to, but it was really expensive, and didn't have, I was really young and I didn't have unlimited funds. So that's my 2 cents on Laserdisc. Laserdisc had all kinds of issues that could happen with the image. In my experience, it was really kind of annoying. And by the time DVD came around, it was nice to just leave Laserdisc behind. Future Boy says there are major Laserdisc collectors out there. They have a channel here on YouTube. I don't understand why they collect it this day and age. One disadvantage over DVD or Blu-ray takes too much space. Yeah, that's true. I can almost kind of understand like the like some of the really first stuff just for because it's so old and cool, but like collecting stuff like, from the 90s or mid or late 90s, some of the last years of Laserdisc, it's just like whatever. I mean, it's probably just I don't know. I would imagine it maybe it's nostalgia for them or something. It's a hobby, whatever. It doesn't have to make sense. Gary says my Blu-ray player upscales DVD pretty good. Yeah, mine does as well. Things like, I've got just the DVD of Scarecrows. I mean, stuff like that's why I never ended up getting the Blu-ray because so many DVDs upscale really good. Austin says Laserdiscs look very particular compared to other formats. Almost looks like a 35 millimeter print on a disc. Yeah, we're having a conversation that Mr. What's his name would love to have. Can't think of his name right now. Oh, Wade Wilson. This is a conversation for Wade Wilson. We're talking laser discs. Laser discs. Weather update still -4. it might not get up to -3 until 3 or 4 p.m. Something to look forward to. Future Boy says, question, what is your prized possession you picked up or looking to pick up soon? Uh, let's see here. A prized possession. Yeah, that's a question that's like, I don't know, you'd almost have to think about it. I mean, I wouldn't call it a prized possession, but I got that, new quote unquote remastered CD as Friday the 13th soundtrack coming in the mail hopefully soon. As for a prized possession, yeah, I don't know if I don't know. I don't I'm old enough, or I guess my particular character really doesn't think in those terms where, I put a lot of value in possessions, so I guess maybe I can't really even answer that question. It's scary, when you put so much value in things. It's just like, oh, what if something happens to that thing? Yeah, thanks for asking. I don't know if I really have an answer for that. You know, Looking forward to the picking up the Blu-ray releases of Creature and Trauma and getting that restored Friday the 13th soundtrack CD, I guess is my answer to that question. Austin says House of a Thousand Corpses DVD looks great upscaled. Gary Page says Friday 13th DVDs looked great. It's like past tense. He probably means look great. I mean, I guess, those Friday the 13th posters that I got in the Winter Studio are, I like to have those. Those are cool, and I'm glad I got them years ago, close to 10 years ago when they were less expensive. Now those things are, you know, almost a decade older, and they're going for prices that I probably wouldn't be willing to pay, close to 100 or over 100 for a poster. It's like, wish I could remember what I got those for. Probably no more than 30 something dollars a piece, I wouldn't think, or I would think. Future Boy says, from a collector standpoint, not looking for a deep meaning, just for fun. Yeah, that's kind of my answer. Like the Friday the 13th posters that are hanging up in the winter studio that I'm currently shooting in for the winter. And I also got, it's too bad that the space for the winter studio is limited, but I also have, I guess, to answer the question, I mean, some of the original posters from some of these movies that I love that I have acquired over the last 10 years, like Saturn 3 and Meatballs, and Terror Train, and The Burning, and I guess just like, lobby cards and stuff from some of these old movies and things are, if we want to talk about prized possessions or something that is anything like that, and also like the original theatrical poster for Slumber Party Massacre, which is going for a lot of money these days. I guess in lobby cards and stuff like that, I guess those things are as close as I can really get to answering that prized possession question. And acquiring those and owning those are just kind of for fun. It's too bad the wall space is limited in the winter studio. I could have all these posters in the background. You need a warehouse studio to have them all in the background, but then they'd be all so small that it'd defeat the purpose. Austin says Friday 13th DVDs look like VHS compared to the new Blu-rays, but they were great for their time. Blu-ray days make the kills in Friday 1 look faker, though. Right, as the quality gets better in those transfers, the kills look worse. That's what I'm kind of worried about the Blu-ray of Creature. It's like, oh, the sets and the effects are going to look so much more fake in that pristine film to tape scan. Future Boy says the Shaw scope from Arrow this year for me, great box set. Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with it, but I know what you're talking about. Gary, okay, we've got some difference of opinion here. Gary says, ha ha ha, Fridays on DVD, not that bad. Yeah, it's all personal preference. I mean, I sure ain't watching the DVDs anymore, but that's okay. At least they got like some of the more original sound on them. That's one of the things you can say for them. Original mono in the mono movies and stuff like that. Original sound. Yeah, I feel bad for the people who paid like I don't know what that new Paramount 8 movie collection was going for when it came out, but I think around like Black Friday and stuff it went down to like 20 something bucks. I hope people didn't pay 50 for it, but Austin says he retired his old Friday box set, just collects dust on his shelf now. You talking about which one, Blu-ray or DVD? Future Boy says this year is the year of deep cuts from Studios Library. What does that mean? Austin says he's got the Paramount 8 movie collection as well. He only paid 25 for it. Are we talking about the more recent one or the old one? Because they put out that recent one with the first 4 restored and all that crap. Austin says it's a DVD set from Crystal Lake to Manhattan. Oh, okay. Future Boy says this year we'll see more obscure titles on Blu-ray. Well, we can hope so. Gary says nice box set. Austin says the older 8 movie blue collection is the one I have with the old transfers. Okay, yeah, that's the one I was rocking for several years before last year. I'm seeing 7 listeners. Welcome, everyone. Probably, well, we'll most likely go 2 hours today, possibly 3. Hoping to get someone on Skype. Will said he was interested in it, but maybe he fell down drunk and broke his knee out of whack. I don't know. Looks like C-Snap's here. He says his, hey, Nate. Hey, guys. Welcome, C-Snap. If anyone wants to do a Skype call, please let me know in the chat. C-Snap bought Runaway Train on Blu-ray today. He loves that movie. Yeah, I can remember seeing it as a kid in the 80s, and that was when I was still kind of a pansy before I started watching R-rated movies. And I can remember some kind of violence at the beginning that kind of put me off as a pansy-ass kid. And I really should see that again. I've never seen any of it since. Like some kind of violence at a prison or something early on at the beginning, if memory serves. CSAP says John Voight and Eric Roberts escape from prison in Alaska and get on a train whose driver has had a heart attack. Oh, sounds like a winter movie to watch during the winter. Cool. Austin says it sucks Return of the Living Dead Scream Factory is out of print now. That was the best release. Were you able to, hopefully you were able to score one before it went out of print? C-Snap says, yeah, it's a snow movie, definitely, regarding or referring to Runaway Train. Okay, might be, I don't know if anyone who may not know that I'm kind of anal when it comes to watching movies. Like, I hate watching ones that take place in the winter and warm weather, so I save them for this time of year and things like that. Might watch some Avalanche this evening. Going to get into the minus teens overnight, Fahrenheit, where I am. Lucky me. Future Boy says Shout will start re-releasing some titles on 4K for sure. Friday the 13th will get that upgrade. I won't upgrade, but I am looking Escape from New York on 4K. Then we'll definitely upgrade. Yeah, I mean, not even Friday the 13th on 4K disc would make me want to get 4K, but it's just I'm sick of buying movies over and over. Austin says, "Yep." Okay, he scored one of the Return of the Living Dead Scream Factory Blu-rays. Okay, good. Oh yeah, okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. C-Snaps says a great winter time movie is A Simple Plan with Bill Paxton, Billy Bob Thornton, directed by Sam Raimi. Love that movie. Yeah, made in Minnesota, I think. I can remember when that was shooting, and I really wanted to get on the crew, but they didn't want me. I didn't have any. They probably bring everyone from. Actually, no, because I think they had an ad out anyway. I didn't have any crew experience. Austin says, I'm done collecting Friday 13th unless they release all of them uncut. He's going to get the Halloween 4Ks one last time, but that's it. Austin's putting his foot down, everyone. Yeah, that would be cool if they do that, someday. Oh, miraculously they found all the 35 millimeter footage of all of the uncut, you know, kills from the Friday the 13th series. It's possible. Anything's possible. C-Snap says, "Oh, cool! I met Billy Bob in Dublin and got him to sign my Simple Plan movie poster." Well, that's cool. What kind of event was that at? Like a convention or something? Austin says they found the Nightbreed footage, so yes, it's possible, right? And like someone else in the chat or who comments on the channel has said, I mean, just it could be something they just deliberately plan to do. Maybe the footage never has been lost, but they're plan on they just say that with the plans on doing a ultimate version and years down the road. But We can hope. Just because they say the footage is lost or gone for good doesn't mean that's the case. C-Snap says he was doing a gig with his band. He's not a bad singer, better actor, really. Okay, just a small little musical gig. Austin says he wish they would find the lost Hellraiser footage as well. What's lost? Just extra gore and sexual explicitiveness. Future Boy says he got the Nightbreed, the UK Arrow release. Yeah, I've never been a big enough of a fan of that movie to search out, them different versions of it, but it's a cool little movie. I saw it back in the day when it was new on home video and got just the basic DVD years later, years ago, and rewatched it for the first time in a long time. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I remember this. Brought back memories. For me, the coolest thing about the movie is David Cronenberg's character. Austin says Hellraiser 2 still has footage that is missing. You can see it in the international trailers. Okay. Well, so far this is a Skype-less show. I guess that's okay. What better way to do a 1-year anniversary of the radio show doing it the way we did it a year ago today? C-Snap says he remembers seeing Nightbreed first time and liking it, saw it again recently, didn't like it. Isn't that interesting? Kind of like with me in Halloween 2, like when I was a kid, I worshiped that movie, and as an adult, well, I still like it mostly for, sentimental or nostalgic reasons. That like I see it in a completely 180-degree different view than I did when I was a kid. Austin says Nightbreed director's cut and Cabal cuts are much better. I don't doubt it. Future Boy says the monsters in Nightbreed can easily fit as Sith in the Star Wars universe. That's kind of funny. That's true. It would have been cool if they could have done like a spin-off movie, like in a couple years following Nightbreed, with David Cronenberg just as the main character, just following his exploits as some kind of a serial killer. Too old, obviously, to do it now, but that would have been cool. Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right, everyone. Approaching an hour into the show. We'll probably go at least 2 hours, see what things are like at that point. Decide whether to continue on or put a sock in it. C-Snap says there's deleted footage of Hellraiser 2 on YouTube. The Cenobites in the hospital scrubs scene is there. Oh, yeah, I can remember seeing pictures of that. Was that on the back of the VHS? Or I'm trying to think where the pictures of the Cenobites in the hospital scrubs, because I can remember seeing that image back in the day and thinking, where the hell was that in the movie? Okay, interesting. Gary says, I think Will is stuck in the pub. Yeah, something happened to Will. He was about 40 minutes ago or so all ready to do a Skype call, and maybe he met a woman. Way to go, Will. C-Snap says on the back of the, oh, okay, VHS, but never in the film. Okay, so I've actually got that tape. Austin says the surgeon scene in Hellraiser 2 is on the Arrow Blu-ray. Oh, wow. Yeah, I've got the original North American VHS release of Hellbound, but I was never a huge fan. I never got the original VHS of the first movie. I liked Hellbound more as a kid than the first movie because there's more like I don't think there's actually ridiculously amount that much more, but I think there's more like Cenobites in Hellbound, isn't there? I mean, as a 13-year-old, I wasn't really. That's when I first saw the first couple Hellraisers, or 12 or 13. I wasn't really interested in that freaking story of the first movie. Like with the main story is the woman bringing the lover back to life, and it was just like I just wanted to see the Pinhead and company. Austin says he's got the original Laserdisc and VHS of Hellbound and Part 1. C-Snap says you should review the VHS cover, Nate. Showcase, I think what he means. Yeah, Hellbound, I could do that. Will says, sorry, I'm still here. That's okay. Will says, I'll join very soon if you still want to chat. Yeah, my Skype and stuff should be on, so just ring it when when it's convenient for you. No rush. We'll probably be here for at least another hour. I would imagine maybe more. We shall see. So take your time. Austin says the laser. It's just like how. So he's in a pub, but listening to the show. How the hell would you be able to listen to the show in a noisy pub? It just seems weird. But I guess he's doing it. Austin says the Laserdiscs of Hellraiser are good to have for the open mat versions. That's true. That's something that I can see. What the hell's his name? Why can I never Wade Wilson saying? Austin says Hellraiser 1 and 2 are not about Pinhead. I was surprised by that as a kid as well. Yeah, that's just it. It's just like that was one of the things that I didn't really like so much about the first couple movies when I was a kid. Of course, when I was a kid, all there was the first couple movies. But part of me as a kid was like, why are I don't know why people like these movies so much because I don't know. It's just a bummer that like one of the coolest aspects of Hellraiser, was like the Cenobites and like they're barely in it. That's why I've never been like a huge Hellraiser fan. C-Snap says the blonde mute girl in it looks like Brad Pitt. Once you see it's hard to unsee. Oh God, you just kind of ruined that. Yeah, I used to think she was cute when I was a kid. Maybe no more. Thanks a lot, man. Gee, thanks. Yeah, I can see that now. Gee, thanks. Yeah, it is really cool what Christopher Young, I want to say, did with the music those first couple movies. Really classic themes. C-Snap says the Hellraiser Brad Pitt girl is called Imogen Borman. She had a crazy wild life after the movie. Well, good for her, I guess. Future Boy says, is it going to be the theatrical release of The Warriors? Is the supervisor... Is he asking this question? I don't know. Is the supervisor version? Yeah, I don't know any... I'm not a big fan of The Warriors. Gary says, ha ha ha, never thought of that, C-Snap. She does a bit. C-Snap is laughing at something. Oh, Future Boy meant superior version. Yeah, I've never got into the Warriors personally. Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, sir.
All right, Will Powell on Skype, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
All right.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I've got Bluetooth headphones in. That's how I could hear you in the pub, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, it must be noise canceling. I don't know how you can hear in the pub.
It's quite a big pub. I just went in for some food, and I usually just listen to music or podcasts or something. It's not a noisy pub anyway, so it's all good.
Well, welcome. Let me just read C-Snap here. He says the soundtrack for Hellraiser 1 and 2 is great. Looks like C-Snap says, I think he's kind of saying hi, Will, to you, now hearing your voice, I think.
Oh, hello, sir.
Yeah, the music to the first couple Hellraisers are great. So what's Will doing? You got a meal in the pub, I guess.
I've finished it now. I am now in my car.
Okay.
In the car park. So.
He's in his car at the...
It's all good. It's all good. I've had something to eat, and I've had a drink. So it's all good.
All right.
I'm not drinking and driving, don't worry. It was only half a Guinness, so fine.
Well, that's good. I would imagine you were smart enough not to do that.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Austin says the rejected score for Hellraiser 1 is cool too. It was done by Coil. I've never heard anything about that. Interesting. I don't know what Coil must be, some group or something. I don't know.
I've never seen any of the Hellraisers, believe it or not, being a massive
Holy
horror
shit.
movie fan.
Holy
I've
shit.
never seen them. I know.
Not really. I wouldn't say like you're necessarily missing a lot, as we were just talking about on the show. Like the first couple, that don't even revolve around like Pinhead and stuff. They're just like guest stars that appear, very very seldomly.
Right. I don't know. It's just something about the cover. When I used to see it in the video shop, it just never looked appealing. I don't know why.
Oh, C-Snap says, what's the name of the pub? Maybe the Slaughtered Lamb.
Yeah, there's a star on the wall. 5-pointed star, is it?
I think C-Snap is amazed that you've never seen Hellraiser.
No, it's like, isn't it a British horror film technically?
Yeah, I think they are. I think it was made in the UK, I think.
But it's like it's one of those weird ones where it's an American production, but it's made in the UK. I don't know.
Yeah, I almost want to say it's made in the UK, and they kind of downplay it, almost like they're like it takes place in America. It is one of those weird movies.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
C-Snap wants you to ask me if I've seen Near Dark yet, so please ask me that.
Have you seen Near Dark?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Near Dark. Hang on. I just figured out what this pub is called because I cannot remember. It's called the Copper Coast.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That's the pub where I am.
Oh! He's at the pub. Oh, he just name dropped the pub. Everyone.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Sorry, what was you saying?
Well, I'm just trying to. I guess I'm kind of just all over the place trying to keep up with chat. Let me just do some of that. Austin says just look up the Hellraiser rejected. Oh, okay. Coil score on YouTube. Full album is on there. Hellraiser 3 is where it became a Pinhead movie. That's true. C-Snap says, hey, what's the star on the wall for? I think he's referencing the movie, right? The American Werewolf in London.
American Werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was actually in a pub on New Year's Eve, which was very like the Slaughtered Lamb. I'm not even kidding, honestly.
Yeah, well, you sent me a couple pictures of some of them pubs, and I can understand you're serious.
Yeah, because I remember you thinking maybe it's kind of a bit romanticized for movies, but honestly, it's not. A lot of British pubs are still like that. If you go to if you know the right areas, real out in the countryside.
Yeah, those look really cool, and probably never get to see them, but at least I can see them on a computer screen.
Never say never.
All right. So it looks like C-Snap says that I guess the first couple Hellraisers are set in England, in fact.
Yeah, it's just something about it. I think I've seen a trailer, or I've tried to read what the film's about, and it's just, I don't know. I've just never got round to it, and I've never felt the need to watch it. So maybe I'll rectify that one day.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're kind of just dark, dreary, depressing movies, like the first couple, and that's not something that I'm necessarily that crazy into, because you want to escape from the depressingness of life. So why would you escape into something equally as depressing?
Yeah, there might be something in that. I mean, there's some films I do like which are depressing, but I enjoy it. I mean, I think Silence of the Lambs is a very depressing film. The way it looks, it's very grey and stuff like that. I don't know, but I still enjoy them. But I guess it means what you mean by depressing, I guess.
Yeah, everything's whatever that's called. I can't think of that word right now. Relative.
Yeah. I'm not in the mood for depressing stuff at the moment. Definitely not.
Yeah. C-Snap says the pub in the Wicker Man was up for sale in Scotland, but no takers. Nate, are you a fan of the original? Are we talking about Wicker Man? Yeah, I'm not familiar with any Wicker Man at all.
Yeah, I've seen the original one. I've only seen it once. I know it's a classic cult horror. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I'd recommend it.
All right, cool. Austin says he loves the darkness of the first two Hellraisers. Well, live and let live.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I suppose that's a great atmosphere if it has got that kind of, how can I describe, macabre atmosphere. Is it a bit like that, or is it more just the subject matter that's depressing? Or
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both.
yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll get around to seeing them.
C-Snap says the most depressing movie of all time is an English film called Threads. It's about nuclear war. Yikes.
To be honest, I watch. It's not very often I watch British movies because they are very depressing.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I do like realism, but I like to escape. I watch American movies.
Yeah.
You know. So, and also I think they portray England as kind of that stereotypical dreary grey sky. I mean, something like Train Spotting, which is Scotland, or I don't know what else can I think of. Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels, Guy Ritchie movies. It's always kind of this very, I don't know, just very downtrodden, depressing movies, and that doesn't reflect where I live.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. So there you go.
Gary says, watching Hellraiser back in the day, I thought American audiences would know straight away the film isn't made in America. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more they do probably, the more it is kind of, because you got so many people with the British accents and stuff. So the more I think about it, I think, yeah, you're right. Austin says, Hellraiser 3 is fun, but it feels like a Bud Light version of part 1. Yeah, that's true. By the time the third Hellraiser came around, they realized everyone wanted it to be about Pinhead, so make him the Freddy Krueger of the franchise.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, you can go on.
Isn't Andy Robinson in it from Jersey Harry?
Yeah, he's one of the main stars of the first movie. He's pretty good in it. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's pretty good in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a kind of just a boring, bland role, though. It's not like a fun one like Dirty Harry.
Right. Oh, I see. I loved it. Do you like Dirty Harry?
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch it crazy a lot, but I mean, yeah, I do like it. Yep, it's fun 70s goofiness, excess.
He's pretty insane in that film, isn't he?
But Andrew Robinson is probably almost steals the show, kind of.
He does really. I've heard some people say they think he's a bit too over the top, but I think that's a good thing. I think he's probably more of a realistic kind of psychopath than a lot of movies.
Yeah,
show. It's usually someone quite cunning and someone but he's quite dumb in it, really.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Over the top for a psycho. Like, what's he supposed to do? Just be all, calm and well spoken. I mean,
calculated. Yeah, it's he's more of a. I wouldn't say I've seen people like that, but I don't know. There's some whack jobs out there, and I think they probably act more like Andy Robinson than, say, Hans Gruber from Die Hard or something.
Yeah. C-Snap says I have to.
That's not to put Hans Gruber down.
What?
That's not to put Hans Gruber down, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah. C-Snap says I've got to watch the original Wicker Man, put away the slasher stuff for a while, and watch serious classic horror. All right. Thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah, it's I can't remember that much about it really, the Wicker Man, to give you a valid opinion on it. So
gee, thanks. Austin says the MPAA went to town on Hellraiser 2. Thankfully, we got the unrated version on VHS and so on. He's surprised Hellraiser 2 didn't end up like Friday 7, where we are stuck with the cut version. Andrew Robinson was in Hellraiser 1, he says. C-Snap says the nail scene in Hellraiser. Let's see. The nail scene in Hellraiser as... Oh, yeah, bringing up the bed is nasty. Yeah, Andrew Robinson gets his wounded on an old rusty nail and bleeds all over.
Oh.
Austin says psychos are over the top in real life. There you go. He agrees with...
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, I cannot bother with that. Gary says Andrew Robinson from Dirty Harry. Yes. Yep, that's correct, Gary. Austin says Gary Page. Yes. C-Snap says, I think they spent most of the budget on having Andrew Robinson in Hellraiser. He was great in Dirty Harry. Yeah, it could have very well spent most of the budget just to get Andrew Robinson. Who knows?
Yeah, I seem to remember he was in Cobra with Stallone. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, I've got it, but it's hard for me to even remember it. I'm not a big fan of it, but every time I watch it, I completely forget what happens. Some movies do that to me. I call them mind wipes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? That's strange. You say that, because there is certain films which I've seen plenty of times, but Lethal Weapon has that effect on me. I've no idea why. I think I get it muddled up with the sequels. I don't know why. I just never seems to sink in for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, when you bring up the title Lethal Weapon, I mean, all I can think of is the beginning where that chick is like doing drugs and jumps off the balcony. That's all I can remember.
Yeah, no, I thought that was the second one.
No.
Obviously not. The first one. The first one's got Gary Busey in it. I know that. I remember that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Joshua, that was it.
But, that was a goofy name.
Mr. Joshua. Wow, Gary Busey. I like Gary Busey.
Good. Have you seen him in the Full Moon movie Ginger Dead Man?
No, I haven't.
You might be able to see that on Tubi. Ginger Dead Man.
Is it good?
Well, he's barely in it because it's a Full Moon movie. They only have enough money to pay for a few minutes of Gary Busey's screen time, but it's kind of funny. It's when he's willing to take anything for money. I mean,
yeah, he's just an entertaining guy. I've seen a lot of YouTube clips of him, and he's an entertaining chap.
Austin wants to see Kevin Yeager's original cut of Hellraiser Bloodline. The studios butchered it Let's see. Is that the tag? I think he's saying the tagline for Dirty Harry. He's saying crime is a disease. He's the cure. I'm not sure if that's the tagline or not. Oh, maybe that's the Stallone movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cobra.
Yeah, Cobra. That's the tagline for Cobra.
I seem to think that Cobra is just 80s macho cheese, but kind of good and bad at the same time. One of those ones.
Yeah, C-Snap says, yeah, Stallone as Marion Corbretti. Total shit, but fun. I think he's talking about Cobra.
Yeah.
Austin says, oh man, you need to watch the Lethal Weapon films. I think we've seen them. We just can't remember them. I mean, I know I've seen them.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've seen them plenty of times, but I don't know. It's like Die Hard or Jurassic Park. I can remember it beat for beat.
Yeah.
Recite every line, or Halloween, or you know, some movies that just wash over me. I don't know. Very strange.
Yeah, I can remember seeing Lethal Weapon 2 at the drive-in after Batman in 1989. That was fun.
Oh wow. Yeah, I bet. Is that when it came out? 1989.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon 2 and Batman 1989. Yep.
Lethal Weapon 2, right? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Thing with Lethal Weapon is the kind of buddy cop banter starts to get on my nerves after a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems a little bit forced, some of it.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And then they do like a funny line, a joke, and then you get that saxophone going.
I hate saxophone.
I hate it in that film.
I just hate saxophone in general.
I like saxophone if it's blended well, if it's like within sound, but when it's the lead instrument, it's very annoying.
Yeah.
I'm halfway with you.
Okay, let me do some chat here real quick. C-Snap says there's Ginger Dead Man 2, The Passion of the Crust, for anyone who wants to know. I think they made at least three Ginger Dead Mans, but I pretty much only seen the first one, probably the only one you need to see. Austin says the BBFCs is actually worse than the MPAA. Okay, is that in the UK? Is that the UK's rating thing?
Yeah, the BBFC, yeah.
And
we have go on.
No, you please.
Yeah, I've wondered because we have a U rating, which means for kids, absolutely anybody, and PG. Then we have 12, but that got changed to 12A. Then we have 15, so you have to be 15 to watch it. And then we have 18, which is like, that's the farthest it goes. But those films that come out today are 12A, you know.
Must be RPG-13.
Yeah. What in America, isn't it? They say R-rated and X-rated.
Yeah, so it's G for general audiences. G is the bottom, and then PG, PG-13, and R, and NC-17.
Oh, okay. They're kind of similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the whole 12A thing, I think that's ruined movies.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when a PG, you knew what you was getting. It was for everyone. Then you get a 12, which maybe had a few swear words in, and now everything's 12A, which means let's just cash in on as many people as we can with like Spider-Man or Star Wars. Everything has to be 12A, so it can be a little bit edgy for like a minute, and then it has to resort back to being for everyone. So that's how I feel anyway.
Yeah, that's our PG-13 sounds like.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Just some chat real quick. Wade Wilson's here.
Okay.
Wade Wilson says he's no longer getting the Star Wars Episode 1 Laserdisc. He was refunded the money because seller told him it would take too long to send from Japan to USA. Didn't want to pay extra. Well, wouldn't you know that stuff beforehand? But whatever. C-Snap says they're going to do a Lethal Weapon 5 with Mel, but not Glover. So I've heard. Wow, it seems way too late for that, in my opinion. Austin says, C-Snap, how can they do it without Glover? Good point. C-Snap says to Austin, no idea. Maybe use his son or something.
Oh, Johnny Glover's not going to be in it. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted.
Oh, that's
I
okay.
just zoned out a little bit.
That's okay. You don't. I'm mostly reading this for the show. You don't have to listen
Okay.
to it if you don't want to.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah. I don't know how you do Lethal Weapon without Danny Glover. Austin says NC-17 movies are very rare. That's true. Austin says C-Snap, they should stop at part 4. It's too late. Yeah, part 4, in my opinion, was pretty much too late. I don't think I really liked much after Lethal Weapon 2. I don't watch those movies very often, but anyway, caught up on chat now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 are pretty decent films. I remember liking Mel Gibson in it, and yeah, especially in the first one when he's kind of just on the verge of cracking. I thought that was cool. But it's never been my favorite series, I guess.
Yep, I hear you there. Austin says Lethal Weapon 5 is a very bad idea. Did they not learn from Terminator 6 and Matrix 4? Yeah, maybe it's going to be scrapped after Matrix 4's performance. We can hope.
Yeah.
Wade
That's still in cinemas, Matrix 4.
Wade says they don't care, Austin. They only care about the cash.
Well, saying that though, I mean, if Matrix 4 has flopped, maybe they will reconsider.
We can hope. They're both Warner Brothers, so we can hope.
Right.
C-Snap says Tom Atkins was in Lethal Weapon 1. Huh, I don't remember that. Yeah, I remember
he was.
Oh, okay, I don't remember that. I remember he was in Maniac Cop. Have you seen Maniac Cop, Will?
I haven't. I've got it, but I just haven't got around to watching it yet.
Oh, wow, okay.
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, the first one's really fun. Well done.
Okay.
It's like action horror.
I'll watch it tonight.
Way to go.
I might watch it tonight.
Action horror. Horror action.
Oh, brilliant. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, really good music by Jay Chataway. Really cool score.
Okay. Is it quite like film noir, that kind of down back alleys of cities and dark?
Oh yeah. A lot of dark New York alleyways.
Because that's what I picked. I just remember looking at the cover. I may have seen the trailer. I'm not sure. That sounds up my alley.
Good. I hope you like it.
Yeah. I still need to watch. What was the Roy Scheider film you recommended?
Still of the Night.
Still of the Night. Right. I still need to look that one up.
Yeah, that's really classic.
Yeah.
Wade says.
Here's the point now. Carry on. Sorry.
No, you please.
Where I'm thinking, have I seen everything that's good now? I've seen all. Well, I haven't seen Hellraiser, obviously. I haven't seen Maniac Cop, but I have seen a lot of films, and I'm kind of wished I'd have spaced it out to prolong my entertainment in life.
Well, I think there's still there's probably still a lot of stuff that that neither of us have even heard about that's really good, honestly. I mean,
yeah, it's just, I guess all the big names I've seen, and a lot of cult horror and stuff. And, I'm kind of contradicting myself because I haven't seen Hellraiser.
There you go. So you haven't seen everything.
I haven't seen everything. All I know is I haven't seen a lot recently that's kind of gave me that feeling of being blown away by a film. Even if it's been something old, it's just been, that was okay.
Yeah.
Nothing's not going to blow me away for a while,
Well, for me, I mean, new movies aren't going to probably do that for us anymore. Maybe older movies from the the 20th
Yeah.
century.
Yeah. I mean, you'd probably be right.
If I can do a chat break, Wade Wilson says if stupid people are willing to spend money on the movie, they will continue to sell garbage. That's true. C-Snap says, yeah, he heard Matrix 4 is bad, not bothered to see it himself. Austin says to Wade, I know, but the thing is, these late sequels aren't making any money. Austin says Matrix 4 flopped. Terminator 6 flopped. Blade Runner 2 flopped. I'm not so sure that, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me that Blade Runner 2 flopped if that's true, because I think that was actually a good movie. Have you seen Blade Runner 2, Will?
Yeah, I did. I saw it at the cinema, and I just kind of was a bit different to it. I just thought, I think I was a little bit stubborn because I thought, I don't think we need a sequel to Blade Runner. I still don't. I feel it's a little necessary. I just thought it was okay. I didn't. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I was really surprised by it myself. I mean, in a good way. I was impressed.
Yeah. Oh, I'm pleased to do that. It's different. I felt like the first one, there was a fine line between a good guy and a bad guy. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, is Deckor a good guy or a bad guy? And then how you kind of feel from at the end and all that. I thought this one just kind of had much more vanilla villains and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, I don't care about Jared Leto in the movie, but
yeah, it was a good looking movie.
Yeah.
Scope. No, I have to be, it didn't blow me away like the first one did, but the first one took me a long time to get it. I wasn't blown away by the first one originally, but I rewatched it, and it was kind of, it grew on me a lot the last time I saw it. So now I do say I'm a big Blade Runner fan. Whereas like some years ago I wasn't particularly all that bothered about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Austin says Coming to America 2 wasn't a hit on Netflix. C-Snap says add Ghostbusters to that list also. Austin Boy says, can we stop with sequels? We're really running out of ideas. If we say please don't tarnish what already established decades ago for the sake of nostalgia. C-Snap says, Austin says, where the hell am I? Oh shit, people are saying feedback.
Really?
Yeah, I'm hold on a second. Okay. C-Snap says, love Blade Runner 2. I must say, I thought, hold on a second. I'm distracted by this feedback shit. Nate, you need to reboot, people are saying. Hey, the sound is bad. Audio problems, can't hear a thing. Oh shit, Will.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
I can hear you fine, but I'm hearing you directly at Skype, aren't I?
Well, right. Okay, Matt saying in caps, no one can really hear you. Okay. Oh, it's the static. Okay. See, the static comes on its own and goes. Okay.
That's due to the Skype call, or is that just...
No, that happens regardless of Skype calls. I don't know what to do. It should just go away. How is it now, everyone? It's like normally I'd be able to check it on the phone, but since I got you on the phone.
You want to hang it on for a minute?
Okay. No, that's okay. Maybe we'll just, it's still bad. Maybe I should just restart. Okay, let me restart. You can just hang on there, Will. All right, everyone, all right. Let me try restarting. What a great first anniversary show. All right, everyone, we'll be right back. We'll stay with us if you like.